Hi, welcome to this AQA A-Level Business revision video. In today's video, we're going to explore how we can use AI tools like Copilot and ChatGPT to create for us an unlimited amount of multiple choice questions to support us in our revision. Remember, you don't know what you don't know, as famously quoted by Socrates. And by using multiple choice questions, we can identify gaps in our knowledge so that when we walk into the exam, we'll know exactly what we need to know. I'm going to explore some of these AI tools and show you what prompts to use in order to get an unlimited amount and get the most accurate questions as well. Join me over on the computer. A reminder that my teaching role here is separate to any of my teaching and consultancy roles in any and all academies across the country. I'm Mr. Giles. Let's get down to business.
Thank you for joining me over here on Copilot. Now, you can use this on either Copilot, ChatGPT, or any of your favorite AI systems. It's completely fine. I'm using Copilot. Now, the first thing I want to draw your attention to, students, is that over here you will see that my conversations are named. And the reason for that is I want to be able to go back into them so I don't have to continually keep giving the same prompts. So I've called this one MCQs for students. You might name it something along the lines of multiple choice questions for, and then insert topic here. The first prompt I've got for you is a topic specific prompt. And what that means is that you're going to feed the AI a particular topic, a unit that you want it to ask you questions on. The reason for that is that you might be having, say, an end of unit test. So you want to be able to focus in on that particular area. The second reason is the less you give to AI, the easier it is for it to give you more accurate results. We will build to getting multiple choice questions from the entire specification, but let's just start here. And then lastly, if we're honest, it's probably best to focus your revision on certain aspects. So here's the prompt, and you'll find these prompts written in the description down below, so you can just copy and paste them in. You are a revision bot, and you're going to create for me 10 multiple choice questions to test my knowledge and understanding. I've just given it an arbitrary number of 10. Once we get to 10, it will ask you if you want another 10. And I'm telling it I want to test my knowledge and understanding so it knows what the purpose of the questions are. I then give it the context. So test my knowledge and understanding of AQA A-Level Business. It's very important to give it that context. Focusing on unit 3.1, what is business? So that's the unit, it's the first unit you ever learn. I then feed it the specification. You can find a link to the specification here, and I just copy and paste the specification. Students, if you don't have this in your bar saved somewhere or in your notes saved and you're not visiting it frequently, then you're not doing revision right, okay? As a bold statement, I know, but you need to know that spec inside and out. It should be printed off in your folder somewhere so you can tick off when you revised it, you can red, amber, green it, so on and so forth. But this particular link takes it straight to the unit, what is business? So I've just copied and pasted that from the AQA website. And then I'm going to tell it what I want it to do. Ask me one question at a time, allow me to answer, tell me if I'm correct or not, and then explain why I'm right or wrong. Because even if you get it right, you want to make sure you're reading what it tells you for revision purposes. Then ask me the next question. If you didn't put that last bit in, it will just give you all 10 questions. Okay? So here we go. Question 1, and it asks me which of the following best describes the primary purpose of a business. It gives me a load of answers. The correct answer is B, so I tell it over here, I tell it B, and then it tells me you are correct, and then it tells me why I'm correct. So I'm reinforcing what I do know. The next question is about a mission statement. I've deliberately got this one wrong, and I've put C, and it's going to tell me I'm incorrect. It's going to tell me the correct answer, so I can go back and reread, and then it's going to tell me why I'm wrong. Okay, then it's going to give me the next question, so on and so forth, and it will keep doing that until it's done 10, and then it will ask you if you want another 10. So this is your very just easy, kind of straightforward, bread and butter, I would say, way of doing revision for each particular unit. This is your prompt up the top here. Let's move on now and see if we can get it to ask us questions based on an entire part of the specification. So whether that be all year 12 content or all year 13 content. Okay, so now we want to ask questions across maybe an entire year of study. Let's say you're doing your end of year 12 mock exam, or maybe you're preparing for your year 13 mock exam and you want to focus in on a broader range of topics. we're going to use a very similar prompt as we did before, but with one slight exception. Now here, I've told it it's a revision bot again. I've gone with 15 multiple choice to replicate more what goes on in paper 1 in year 13. And then I've kind of give it these units here. Now, you might be thinking, why is it 3 point? Well, in the specification, it is deliberately 3 point whatever, okay? So it is unit 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's section 3 of the specification. So I'm just trying to be as accurate as possible. If you asked it for unit 1, it would probably be okay, but when I feed it what I'm going to feed it, I want it to know exactly where it's looking. The difference here is that the specification I fed it is actually a PDF. I don't know if you can see that here, and my mouse is moving. Because what I did was I went to the AQA website, and then I said to it, hey, can I have the specification as a PDF? And if you go down to where it says subject content, it will actually show you. So if I go back in time now, you might be able to see that. So if you go to here to the AQA website, I'm under subject content. Now before, all I did was click on 3.1 and I fed it this page. However, if I scroll down, you'll see that the actual specification here as a PDF document. So I click on that and I feed it this, because it can navigate websites, but it's far easier if you just give it a document to scan. If we went back in time and just fed it this page and we just went straight back up to here, we could give it this page, but the problem being is that it would then have to go through these websites on its own, and then it's not very reliable at doing that. So we feed it the actual PDF and it just makes it far more accurate. So here we go, and then what I've asked it to do is divide out the questions equally over the 6 units, and then here's what it's given me. It's actually told me where it's going to ask me these questions. Okay, so I just started spinning through. I've got a couple right, a couple wrong. So these are my unit 1s. Great, it's asked me some questions. It's telling me if it's right or wrong, and I just wanted to double check that it worked. We go to question 4 and it tells me it's moved on to 3.2 and it's asking me questions now. So that's how you prepare for, say, an end of year mock exam, or you want to kind of broaden out what it is you're trying to test yourself on. Okay, if you've made it this far, then you're ready for what I would consider the advanced use of AI in order to prepare you for your exams. Now, what we can actually do is we can get our AI agents to create and replicate exactly what happens in paper 1. Now, if you're in year 12, your questions will be slightly different, and if you're in year 13, you'll know there's this different style of MCQ questions. So I'm going to assume you're in year 13 if you're watching this video. If you're in year 12, all you have to do is feed it a year 12 paper, okay? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get our AI to identify what types of questions are asked in the exam paper, and then we're going to get it to make us those types of questions. So the first thing you're going to want to do, if you just ignore my prompt for a second, is you're going to go to the AQA website, and you're going to go over to here to assessment resources, okay? And then you're simply just going to download this first paper 1. Any paper 1 will do, okay? But you're going to download a paper 1, okay? You're then going to come back into your Copilot and you're going to give it this prompt. You are a revision bot and you're going to help me revise AQA A-Level Business. It's really important you keep it there so it knows exactly what it's doing. I want to practice my multiple choice questions. Explain to me the different style of MCQ questions found in paper 1, section A, which is the first part of the paper, which is attached. And all I did was I went down to this plus, I said add content, and then came over to here, and then I uploaded it from my device, okay? So it then goes through the paper, and then it identifies the different styles of questions, and it tells us here what they are: definition and concept, calculation based, apply to context, interpretation of data, statement evaluation. This is the important one, isn't it? These are the tricky ones, the true or false questions. Terminology classification, and then strategic and operational understanding, okay? So this AI bot now knows the 7 different styles of questions that we're going to face in paper 1. So we then go, okay, here's my next prompt. Using the specification, which is that same PDF file as the previous video, create me 15, because there's 15 in paper 1, MCQs that cover all 10 units of knowledge, including the 7 different styles of questions that you have identified. So I want 15 MCQs that cover all 10 units of subject, and make sure you've got in all those different types of questions. Same again, ask me one question at a time, allow me to answer, tell me if I'm right or wrong. Let's see if it worked. So it's going to tell me, hey look, we're going to make 15 MCQs, I'm going to use these 7 styles, here we go. Now the only thing where it kind of falls apart is it's going to do it in chronological order. And we could adjust our prompt if we wanted to, okay? But I'm quite happy for it to do this. And I actually quite like that it's telling me what style of question it's going to give me. I quite enjoy that because then now I know as a student what it is I'm practicing. So here we go. It's giving me that lovely definition and concept recognition. Ask me about business objective. I give it the answer. It tells me I'm right. Wonderful, okay? Then ask me about unit 2, and then it gives me one of these true-false questions. Wonderful. I give it the answer. It tells me I'm correct. Now I'm hoping for a calculation question, if I'm honest, and here we are. We've got a lovely PED calculation question. So that is how we get it to actually replicate what happens in paper 1. So you've got your general unit-based MCQs just to double check your knowledge understanding. You could then broaden that out to look at maybe the whole of year 12 or the whole of year 13 to give yourself a bit more of a challenge. And then you can even use this to simply replicate what happens in paper 1 to practice that section and to maybe speed yourself up.
Thank you for joining me in this video on how to use AI to generate multiple choice questions. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. Any questions, I'll try and get back to you as quick as I can. Remember, the prompts from this video are in the description box down below. You should be able to just copy and paste them in, with the exception of needing to download and input that paper 1 in the last section. I'll see you in the next one.